Before you choose 50% shade or 30% shade, you have to ask yourself, how much light can your plants give up? When people shop for shade cloth, usually the first question is which one is going to cool my plants down more? And that makes sense. You walk into a hoop house, it's hot, and you want to cool things down, including yourself. But shade cloth is not air conditioning. Shade cloth is mainly changing how much sunlight reaches the crop. So the better question is not just how hot is it, we need to ask how much light can this crop give up. Shade cloth like what we're sitting under right now or what's on our hoop house can definitely make the space feel cooler, but we need to look at how that actually happens. It reduces the sun stress of a plant. It can help with leaf scorch, transplant shock, wilting, and harsh afternoon exposure. But buying shade cloth should not be on that decision alone. We need to think about what the crop actually needs. The crop still needs light to grow, so for fruiting, flowering, and high production crops, too much shade can slow down the result you're trying to protect. Shade cloth may make the space feel better, but the buying decision should be based on what the crop can afford to lose. So before we get into percentages, think about what that crop needs. Is it hardy? Is it tropical based? Can it take a lot of sunlight like tomatoes and peppers? Or is it more tender? Are they transplants? Are they leafy greens? Are there some type of flowers that don't need a lot of sun? This is where the decision starts to take place, not just on how you feel. So we have to put ourselves kind of where the plant is, right? So same farm, a lot of the same crops are around here, but we're under different shade environments. Sometimes we're under 70% in our propagation house, or 30% on our tomatoes. And then we get into the Hey Bootstrap Farmer in general on the website. It says anything above the 40th parallel, Kansas City and across on the United States. You guys are recommending 30%, anything below 50%. And that's why we have this answer for people that just say, I want a quick answer, what can we do? On average, that's what people tend to do below and above that 40% parallel. But if we're going to take the craft a little bit more serious and we want to give the plants what they need versus a general answer, that's what this video is for. Examples of crops that can't give up too much light: tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, squash, some varieties of cut flowers, and established herbs. You're trying to soften the harshness of the sun, not completely take away all the light that the plant needs for photosynthesis and to produce some of these fruits and vegetables. So if we're going to dig a little deeper, we're going to use 30% for crops that need more sunlight versus those that don't. So at 50% shade, we're looking at lettuce, greens, seedlings, plug trays, cell trays, an area for hardening off and for stress plants to recoup. And so that means on your farm, you may take all of those sun-loving crops that we talked about and put them in one plot and all the other tender stuff in another plot and actually have two different shade percentages on your farm. So use 50% when the crop can give up more light because protection is the bigger need. The next thing we need to think about is where is the plant at in its life cycle? So under the 70% shade in our propagation house right here, that's where we're starting seeds, hardening off seeds as they're coming from indoor to outside. We're starting those out in the propagation house, and we're really restricting that light flow because they're new, they're tender, they're small, their roots aren't developed, and they need a place to kind of get tough. But it's not universal across the board. A pepper seedling and a mature pepper plant are not the same shade decision. A cucumber transplant and an established cucumber vine are also not the same shade decision. We need to be more careful with shade when we think about established plants, flowering crops, and fruiting crops. These usually need more light. And for those of us that are growing ornamental plants or maybe doing some cactus or something like that, we also need to take a look at what those types of crops need. And a lot of times we need heavily filtered sun or a place to recoup after transplant or propagation. Another thing to look at, your region and your season. Region and season adjust the decision, but they should not be the first thing you use. Remember, always start with the crop. A hot and exposed site may push you towards more shade. A cloudy region, coastal, northern climates, higher elevation, spring crops, or fall crops may push you towards less shade, but the crop still comes first. Stage second, region and season adjust the decision. Now let's talk about overshading and when we don't want to put the crops under more shade just because it makes us feel better as humans. More shade is not automatically better. That's why 50% is not an automatic answer just because the structure feels hot. Another thing to consider, if we have disease-free and pest-free plants, they're able to take a little bit more sun, and that may affect what percentage that you're moving on with if you historically have troubles with disease and pests. But shade cloth is only part of the equation. Let's take a look at other things that affect the plant growth. If we're growing in a high tunnel, we're reducing the amount of pests if we're using insect netting. We're reducing wind stress. Hopefully we're reducing the amount of moisture coming in and we're able to precisely irrigate, and we're holding heat and we're holding wheat where it needs it and extending the shoulder seasons. But in the summertime, the layers of the protection that we use that start with the shade cloth also go down to the following items: ventilation, airflow, watering, tunnel venting, crop spacing, timing, and hardening off. Shade cloth certainly knocks down a great percentage of the energy that's coming in from the sun. Greenhouse diffusion further helps that, but all that's for nothing if we're not getting proper airflow and proper irrigation. So if you're choosing 30 or 50%, there's also the question of what color do we need to use. The percentage tells you how much light you're trying to remove. The color helps decide how the covered space feels and functions. Black shade cloth. Use black shade cloth when the job is simple crop shade. It's a good fit for what most everybody's looking for in a reduction of radiant energy coming into the hoop house. Black is the straightforward choice when it's a simple job. White shade cloth when you want shade but still want the covered space to stay a little brighter. It's good for greenhouses, propagation houses, and other areas where you're going to have fruiting crops and different flowering crops like cut flowers or other ornamental herbs or things like that. And so those tropicals can stay warmer longer. So to recap everything, let's take a look at 30% versus 50%. Start with the crop, not the thermometer. Ask how much light the plant needs to grow. If it still needs strong light, even if you're in a southern state, you may need to look at 30% if you're doing a monocrop of a fruiting and flowering vegetable. If it's young, tender, stressed, or being hardened off, we're talking leafy greens and brassicas at the tail end of a winter, we're looking at 50% may be the better starting point. And once you know whether you need 50 or 30%, black or white, you can find all of those right here at Bootstrap Farmer in the links below. So if you're feeling the pressure of choosing the wrong shade cloth or the wrong color or the wrong percentage, let's start taking a look at all of that stuff combined. Help yourself make a little bit better decision. And yeah, in the same shopping cart, you may have a 50 and a 30, and you may even have color differences depending on your operation. If you have any questions or specific stuff you want us to answer, I'm the one that answers everything down below. Go ahead and leave a comment, and I'll see you next week.